You are watching Tommy's Reptiles. If you enjoy my videos and want to support my channel, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be turning this 20-gallon long aquarium into a paludarium. I picked up these little plastic containers at Target, and I'm going to turn them into little islands. For the islands, I'll be using Great Stuff Pond and Stone spray foam. I want to put an island on each side, so I'll put the bigger island on the right side and the smaller island on the left side. And here is where the base of each island will be located. I'm placing a rock into the plastic container to keep it secure, so when I spray foam it, it doesn't move. The goal when spray foaming these plastic containers is to get away from that rectangular shape and make it look more nature-like. Once this Great Stuff Pond and Stone spray foam is completely cured, it's perfectly safe for fish, reptiles, and amphibians. Here, I'm trying to ensure that the incline is not too steep for the turtle to get up and out of the water and onto the island. Now it's time to spray foam the smaller island. Whoops, I forgot to put a rock on this side. The goal here is to make sure that these plastic containers are not visible. Now that I'm done spray foaming the islands, I'm going to let them sit for 30 minutes, then start on the background. Now it's time to do the background. We're going to lay the aquarium flat down on the backside. I'll be starting at the top of the islands and going all the way to the top of the aquarium, covering it completely with spray foam. Once that's done, I'm going to press some cork bark and branches into the spray foam. A branch like this is kind of heavy, so we spray foam it in place. Once that's done, we leave it alone for 30 minutes, then flip the aquarium on its side. Then right here, we do the same exact thing that we did on the background. Then, after 30 minutes, we flipped it on the opposite side and repeated the same thing. Now that we're done with the spray foam, we let it cure for 3 days. Once it cured, I used a steak knife to cut the islands to make them look like jagged rocks. The big island's done. Now it's time to move to the smaller island. Let's get all that debris out of the way and get started. Finished carving the islands, now it's time for a little cleanup. Once everything was cleared off, I used some all-purpose silicone and completely covered the islands with the silicone. Then I covered my hand with a plastic bag and used it to spread the silicone all over the islands, making sure that every little nook and cranny was completely covered with silicone. Then I got some children's play sand and sprinkled it all over the island. Here, you can really see that it's starting to look like a natural rock covered in sand. Now, we'll do the same exact process to the other island. So far, I think it's looking pretty good. Now it's time to vacuum out that excess sand. Now let's get to work on the background, flipping the aquarium on its backside. Yeah, and I finally got some rubber gloves. So now I'm siliconing the entire background, just like I did with the islands. Same process, but instead of covering it with sand, we're going to cover it with cocoa fiber. As you can see, it's much easier spreading around the silicone with a rubber glove instead of a sandwich bag. Now it's time to sprinkle the cocoa fiber all over the silicone. This stuff sticks really well, but I still use a rubber glove to pat it down. Then we let it sit for 30 minutes and do the exact same process on each side of the aquarium. One more side to go. Let's flip this bad boy right side up and vacuum the excess cocoa fiber and sand. Now it's time to insert the filter. I'm going to put it right in between both islands to have a nice equal water flow. Since the islands are going to be bioactive, I'll be putting hydro balls in each container. This is for the drainage layer. Next, I'll cut some screen and cover the hydro balls with the screen so no dirt or debris falls into the drainage layer. I'll be filling each container with bioactive substrate along with some extra carbon. Then we sprayed it down with water to make it nice and damp and ready for plant life. I'll be using this rattlesnake plant for the land portion of the larger island. Next, I'll be covering the ground layer of both islands with this frog moss. I found the perfect piece of cork bark to hide the wire of the filter. I fed the wire through the hollow tube of the cork bark and up and out of the aquarium. I'll cover the other part of the wire with another piece of cork bark. We will also be adding some sphagnum moss. I'm using the sphagnum moss on the land part of the islands to blend the rock part with the green part so it doesn't look like straight lines. Then I scattered both frog moss and sphagnum moss throughout the background to make it look more naturalistic. And here I'm hiding the other part of the wire, like I said earlier, with another piece of cork bark. Next, I'm going to add some aqua soil to the bottom part of the aquarium. Then I'll cover that with children's play sand. Here I'm adding a couple rocks, one to hide the filter and one just for decoration, and I'll add more later to help hide the filter even more. Now let's fill this paludarium up with some high quality H2O. Now it's time to add the aquatic plants. Let's turn on the filter. These are some oak leaves that I boiled for 15 minutes. I'm going to be adding them to the water and the land areas. Let's put some springtails and isopods on the land areas to make them fully bioactive. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. You can't have a paludarium without duckweed. Let's add some dechlorinator to get ready for the inhabitants. I gotta let these platies get acclimated to the water temp. I believe 2 of these platies are called Mickey Mouse platies and the other 2 are called Starburst platies. They're really cool orange and yellow colors. I think it's about time to address hiding the filter. No one wants to see a big hunk of plastic in the middle of a beautiful naturalistic looking paludarium. Before adding the last inhabitant and star of the show, let's take a look at how this paludarium turned out. And without further ado, here's the star of the show, my baby spotted turtle. Let's see how he likes his new home for the next year or so. I hope he really enjoys it. Now I'm going to leave you guys with some clear, crisp footage of the turtle, the fish, and the paludarium. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching Tommy's Reptiles.